Hello humans, here we are again. Criminy, that week went by quickly. I have long held a pet theory that time has 3 dimensions, just like space. On one we experience duration, on another live the countless alternate histories we experience as the Mandela effect, and on the third, that's where all our fiction comes from. I was very impressed with myself for coming up with such a unique theory, until I read The Number of the Beast, which is the Heinlein book based on exactly that premise, so I'm not as original as I thought. Darn it. I mean, I guess I shouldn't mind sharing ideas with someone as clever as that. So, Sulfur. I had already painted his neighbor Chlorine, but to save it for next week, we've got this lovely blur. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw it months ago, but you didn't see the process. And that's what we're here for. Yes! I may be a little tired. Addendum to that other thing I was saying. Time speeds up when a big event is looming. Ooh, gotta move that knee. Yeah. Gonna move a lot of things. Don't get attached. Time, yes, like maybe it's not just that it feels that way, maybe it actually gets faster, closer to a big event. And the holidays kinda have gravity, don't they? I feel like we're already approaching December's terminal velocity. Meanwhile, we've made a decent start on Sulfur, Oxygen's smelly brother. The signature yellow brimstone rocks were a shoe-in for his seating material, and the look I'll be going for in our character is old and cranky. The elderly man in the neighborhood all the kids are scared of at the beginning of the movie, but when little Bobby breaks his leg climbing on the roof for a dare, it turns out the old man's a brilliant retired army surgeon, and he wins them all over by setting the leg and telling them stories in his gruff old voice. Yeah. Sulfur smells. I'm talking science now, not gruff old dude in made-up movie. Sulfur compounds are an integral part of most horrible smells. Rotten eggs is a favorite. Decay in general. Natural gas. The other natural gas. Medieval theologians liked to fill hell with it, but at the same time used it to cure their scabies. Because yes, sulfur can be used to treat a number of illnesses, especially skin-related and parasitic ones. It is a pesticide, a bactericide, a fungicide, and all that aside, it is necessary for life. Your cells use it. They stop working without it. Weird, right? I have a hard time wrapping my mind around it, to be honest. Let's take a minute to admire those yellow rocks. Black goat fur was the best choice here. Look at it against the yellow. Striking. I add a little gray later to give it some roundness, and also Sulfur needs to look old. He's been a known element since forever, and like I said, has been used as a cure-all for most of that time. Medicine is his handle in the Oracle deck, and I love that unpleasant stankiness and medical care go hand in hand. It underlines some of the strangeness of our crazy-ass world. This is just a foray into his torso. How's that for a sentence? Any hoozles. His shoulders are too narrow, and it takes me a minute to figure that out. I'm a rest while that process plays out, 'kay? 'Kay. There it is. In real time, that took me hours. Hooray for the magic of editing! I try to give him a more hunched posture and a more gritty look. I don't know if other artists have to spiral in on the vision in their heads like I do. I can see it so clearly, but my skills have me just sort of striking out in a general direction, then course correcting until it's done. Like a blind swimmer or something. But I look at sketchbooks going into the Library of Congress's Sketchbook Project, and they look like art, not covered in gouged-in scribbles like mine. You should see the planning book for this project. Oh, Lord. Some sketches are just meh. The rest are hilarious. The Sulfur sketch was one of the easy concepts to visualize. He just sort of arrived on his own as I was reading about it. It was as I was adding the eyebrows that I realized Sulfur looks like a grumpy, aging Peter Brown. Sorry, dude. I didn't do it on purpose. Concepts came easily a lot in the lower numbers. I have to work harder in the higher numbers, the bottom of the table. Like, what do I do about livermorium? It doesn't even exist. Darn it, physicists. For real, though, I figured them out. All but tungsten. Still wrestling with that one. There's a couple more changes coming, but again, I'm gonna hush a minute. Of course, a satyr has a hairy torso. How could it be otherwise? You can see me trying to pull away from the Peter Brown-osity, trying to make the face more craggy and aged. Here's one change. His hair was just a smidge too big. It looked artificial. Having toned that down, I finally move on to the wine goblet. Now, it's perfectly apposite that he be holding wine. Sulfur is essential to winemaking, but that's not what he's holding. I saw a picture while I was researching of liquid sulfuric something, and it was opaque and dark red like blood, and I was like, cool, and I drew that in. But I haven't found that picture since then. If you know what I'm talking about, leave a comment. Also, if you happen to know any other Sulfur trivia, jot it down for the rest of us. We love to learn. This is the point where the arm is starting to bother me. It looks too theatrical for such a reserved old fart. Forced, really, the gesture looks forced. So I nixed it. Brought the arm into a more natural position and put the goblet of whatever it is back in. I have a running joke about these paintings. I say, when they're done, I'll sell them as a set to a prestigious university chemistry department for $1 million. If they don't have that in their budget, I'll take $800,000 and an honorary doctorate. But not a chemistry doctorate. Let it be something that doesn't imply that I have knowledge, when in reality I only have a scant layman's understanding. Let's aim at humor, not hubris. Here I'm finally pleased with the posture, the build, and the composition in general. Still a hint of Peter Brown in there, but what can I do? I know my limits. We'll fiddle with the details a bit, give that glass a stem, and call it a day. Here he is. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I may be late next week as well because holidays, but I shall do my damnedest to be on time. Like, subscribe, comment, sing, dance, howl at the moon, and stay healthy.